MovieWeb.com.
Excuse me, miss, that mole on your thigh?
Yeah?
You might want to get that looked at. Melanoma is the most common cancer for women, especially blondes.
What's your name?
Victor.
I'm Cherry Daiquiri. It's not my real name.
We are not born evil sinners or perfect knockoffs of God. The world tells us whether we're heroes or victims, but we can decide for ourselves.
My name's Victor. Sometimes the best place to start is at the beginning.
One of the many questions that this
Yes.
film brought up for me after I was done seeing it was how much masturbation becomes too much masturbation? I mean, when do you decide that you have to check yourself?
Calluses?
Yeah, no, that's a great question because we all ask that question. Oh, he masturbates all the time. What's wrong with that? You know, but when it gets in the way of your real life, and when it makes you like, you know, let's say you were married and you masturbate all the time, and then you don't want to have relations with your wife because you know it got in the way. And then if you're doing it at work and you're getting fired from your job, and it's...
I'm wondering, you said that you were the only person that could make this movie, or you thought you were the only person that could make this movie.
I didn't
Why
say that.
did you think that?
I did
You
not
said
say
something
that.
similar to that because
I
I
did.
just
What I
watched
said
it in a
was-
video clip this morning.
I didn't think I was the only person who could make the movie. I felt like the version, I wanted to see my version of it more than the version that I anticipated would be made. I felt like somebody else would make, I imagined what the other versions of this movie would be like, and it was a little kind of self-serving and cynical, which I'm copying to. But I just felt like the versions I was seeing of other people's, they just weren't the version I wanted to see. And it actually was a thing where that version that I thought I could make of it, or I hoped, was a version I was desperate to see.
And I'm kind of guilty of the same thing in that when somebody tells me a great story, I'm always thinking, I can tell your life better than you can tell it. And so I'm always kind of usurping the lives and the experiences of other people and sort of heightening them and turning them into my own stories. So I can sort of cop to that same passion for trying to do the very best with the material.
Now, I want to know, what did you find about Ida that was so intriguing? Because I heard that you just thought this was a really intriguing character, yet I haven't heard why you thought she was so intriguing.
Playing young and old is intriguing to begin with. What a person, how a person starts, or what their evolution is going to be, and then how they wind up. I don't think I've ever done that, except for in a movie for television called Family Pictures. I played myself young, and it's fun to do. And in this case, Ida, as a young woman, had so much color, and she was so determined, and she was harsh, and she was so sure of herself and sure about right and wrong and what she was teaching this kid. And then older Ida, she's like a floppy disk. She's kind of lost the stuffing inside her brain, and she's pretty much off on her own track now. She's a kind of freak of nature, and those characters they're
Challenging for you guys to bring your characters from the page of this book, since there's such an audience that only knows the book and they're not really paying attention to like other films that are out. Since, I mean, it's such a cult. Is it harder, more challenging to bring this to the screen, do you think?
It's definitely a challenging story to tell, no question, because it's not a typical linear through line, but it's, you know, it's, at the end of the day, it is a romantic comedy, I think.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, for me, I'm not thinking about what's going to happen in the future. What are these people going to think? I'm just into what I'm doing, and the script was great, and the book just gives you more details and layers to put into your character because you have more knowledge than you would with a regular script. You read the book and you find out more about your character.
Clark kind of says this is a romantic comedy, and I'm wondering from your viewpoint, do you see the romantic relationship in it being between you and Sam's character? Is that the romantic relationship we're supposed to be looking at in this film?
I think the film has quite a few romances. There's the romance between Victor and his mother. There's the romance between Victor and the doctor. There's the romance between his best friend and the girl that he finds in a strip club. So I think there are a lot of romances in the movie. It's about love.
Now, did you guys work together at all on the screenplay or any of the movie, or did he kind of just step back and?
He kind of, I would have probably been happy to have that, but Chuck kind of wisely said, you know, okay, I hear your take, that sounds right, go work on it, don't be too faithful, and then he kind of disappeared. And in retrospect, that was really right, because I needed to kind of take some distance from his very imposing and brilliant voice and, you know, let it stop being a book and start being a movie. And really the only way I could do that personally was to have a certain amount of kind of like a vacuum to kind of take it and let it just live in kind of my head and movie world for a
Was such a good play to compare to this too.
Well, I think the mother and son relationship in the movie, I think that's something that really, I guess that's what, in Glass Menagerie too a little bit, but you know.
Would you compare this story more to a stage play than a film? I mean, could you bring this to the stage, do you think?
Remember when we were rehearsing? We were like, let's put it up as a play first.
Yeah, the ice follies. Choke the ice follies. Yeah.
Like do choke on skates? Is that what you're thinking?
Choke on ice, yeah.
On ice?
That would be good.
Yeah.
Sex addicts on ice.
Yeah.
Well, how would the skating work with the choking at the same time? That's the one.
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess you'd have to sort of choke onto the ice a little bit. I don't know.
It'd crack your head open.
It would crack. Yeah, exactly.
But I think it would have made a fantastic play.
I definitely think it would have made. Fight Club is going to be a musical, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's what I heard. I'm gonna kick your ass. Go ahead, hit me.
Hit me.
Let's choke. Let's have sex. Let's choke.
And we'll masturbate. And then you'll hate me.
Tell me all the rules, girl!
Hey, you changed your hair.
Yeah, because of what you said about blondes getting skin cancer.
Good thinking.
I just want to belong.